Close your eyes and imagine. The sun is just about to rise. You are walking through the narrow streets of Gamla stan in Stockholm. The cobblestones beneath your feet have carried the footsteps of people for hundreds of years. Some stones are worn in the middle, smooth and shiny. The buildings around you date back to the 1700s, some even older. A yellow building here, a terracotta one next to it, then a soft orange one. Each one tall and narrow, with white framed windows, some adorned with flower pots. You arrive at Stortorget Square, the oldest square in Stockholm. You can almost feel the history of the events that took place here in 1520. Now, there is only the quiet of the early morning. Under a street lamp, an elderly man reads his newspaper, the steam from his coffee curling into the cool air. As you walk down a narrow side street, the scent of coffee and fresh pastries drifts to you. You see a sign that reads, Café Gamla stan. Inside, wooden tables, old photographs of Stockholm on the walls, and display cases filled with golden kanelbullar, the famous Swedish cinnamon buns. You take one, pairing it with a warm coffee to keep you cozy. You sit by the window and watch the world outside. A cyclist passes by. Then a mother holding her child's hand walks toward school. You head toward the harbour. Stockholm is built on 14 islands, connected by boats that are always in motion. You board a white ferry. As the engine hums to life, you feel a gentle vibration beneath you. The boat slowly moves forward. The water is incredibly clear. You look down and can see the granite rocks below. These rocks have been here for millions of years. A small rowboat drifts past, a man quietly fishing. Seagulls follow the boat, their wings slicing through the soft morning air. On your right, you see Djurgården Island, green with trees, full of museums. To the left, modern buildings rise toward the sky. The ferry docks at another island, some passengers get off, new ones get on. An elderly woman sits next to you, smiling warmly. She says something in Swedish that you don't understand, but her smile feels universal. You step onto Djurgården. Walking, you arrive at the Vasa Museum, a large, modern building. Inside, you pass through a dim corridor, and then a massive ship appears before you. This warship, built in 1628, sank after just 1,300 meters on its maiden voyage. It lay underwater for 333 years and was finally raised in 1961. Now it stands right before you. 69 meters long, its wood still strong, carvings still intricate. You walk around the ship. Golden statues gleam, lions, angels, mythological creatures. Its three masts stretch toward the ceiling. You see the holes where its cannons once rested. You approach a display case. Everyday items recovered from the sea are on exhibit. A sailor's shoe, a wooden spoon, some old coins. You are at Stockholm Central Station. You board a train heading north to Lapland. The train slowly starts to move, and the city drifts behind you. You look out the window. The first hours pass through forests. Endless pine and birch trees stretch as far as you can see. Occasionally, you spot small red houses, typical Swedish homes painted with falu rådfärg, their windows framed in white. Some sit beside tiny lakes, their waters perfectly still, like mirrors. As the train moves further north, the scenery changes. The trees become sparse, and the snow deepens. The sun begins to sink, but it never fully sets. During winter this far north, the sunlight is brief. The sky shifts from pale blue to soft purple, then deep indigo. You arrive in Kiruna. The air is sharp and cold, your breath catching in your nose. Yet it's crisp and pure. Everywhere you look, snow blankets the ground. Mountains rise in the distance. You settle into a small cabin. Made of wood, warm and cozy inside, a fire crackles in the stove. Reindeer hides cover the floor, and large windows frame the snowy world outside. You sip hot soup and enjoy Swedish meatballs. Outside, the night is dark, but the snow glows softly in the moonlight. As midnight approaches, your guide whispers, "Let's go." You pull on your thick coat, boots, and gloves. Stepping outside, the cold hits your face, but you lift your gaze. The sky is dancing. The aurora borealis begins. First, a pale green ribbon stretches from horizon to horizon. Then it begins to move, rippling like fabric in the wind. Purple shades peek through the green, then blue, then green again. The lights grow stronger, covering half the sky. For a moment, it seems to pause, then bursts, waves of green light, spirals swirling upward. You tilt your head back, the lights curve overhead, as if you are inside a tunnel of color. The silence is incredible. You hear only your own breath. The snow crunches beneath your boots. A distant sled dog barks. But from the sky, there is no sound. The magnificent light show is completely silent. Half an hour, maybe more, the sense of time drifts away. Slowly, the lights begin to fade, the sky turning dark again. But the image is etched in your mind. The next day, you travel west to Gothenburg, Sweden's second largest city, resting on the west coast. It is warmer here, wetter, the scent of the sea in the air. You visit Feskekåka, the fish church. A building that looks like a church but has been a fish market since 1874. Inside, the stalls are overflowing, fresh oysters, shrimp, salmon, herring, lobster. Vendors call out, customers haggle. At one stall, you taste scallops with a squeeze of fresh lemon, the flavor of the sea lingering on your tongue. You stroll through the Haga district. Cobblestone streets, wooden houses, some dating back to the 1800s. Small boutiques, antique shops, cozy cafes. You pause at a bakery and order a semla, a sweet bun filled with almond paste and cream, dusted with powdered sugar. With your tea, you watch the raindrops fall softly outside the window. Evening falls. You arrive at the harbour. The Gothenburg Opera House is lit, its reflection shimmering on the water. Old shipyards have been transformed into modern buildings. You sit on a pier. The sun begins to set. The Scandinavian sky is painted in pink, orange, purple, and gold. Clouds glow as if on fire. The water mirrors all these colors, as if there are two skies, one above, one below. Seagulls call one last time, then fall silent. The waves gently lap against the pier. A soft wind brushes your face. And here you are, in this moment, reflecting on your journey. Your eyes grow heavy. Your head rests on the pillow of your thoughts. All this beauty, the cobblestone streets of Stockholm, the majesty of the Vasa, the dancing northern lights, the sea of Gothenburg, blends into your dreams. Morning comes, and you find yourself in Abisko National Park. You've traveled even further north from Kiruna by train. Here, in the heart of Lapland, you breathe the cleanest air in the world. You put on snowshoes, modern ones, not the old wooden kind. Your guide leads the way, you follow behind. Each step makes the snow lightly crunch, but you glide effortlessly across the snowy surface. Everything around you is white. Trees are covered in snow, branches bowed under the weight. Some trees are so laden with snow that they disappear into white sculptures. The sun begins to sparkle on the snow crystals, millions of tiny diamonds shimmering in the light. You arrive at Lake Torntrask, a vast lake, completely frozen in winter. You step onto its solid surface, thick ice, sturdy and safe. You walk toward the center, looking around. All around is white, the sky clear, pale blue. Far away, mountains rise, their peaks snowy and majestic. You pause. Your guide whispers, "Now, let's be quiet." And you realize, this silence isn't just the absence of sound. It's the distance from civilization, no cars, no planes, no crowds. Only the soft whisper of the wind and your own heartbeat. You close your eyes. The silence seeps in, clearing your mind. Minutes pass, You don't know how many. When you open your eyes, a herd of reindeer moves slowly across the snow in the distance. In the afternoon, you are invited into a Sami family's tent, a lavu. The Sami are the indigenous people of Lapland, living here for thousands of years. The tent is conical, thickly covered with felt and hides. Inside, a fire burns in the center, smoke rising through a hole above. An elderly man greets you. His face is lined by sun and cold, but his eyes are bright and lively. "Burs," he says, "hello" in Sami. You sit around the fire. Women wear traditional clothing, shirts with blue, red, and yellow patterns, silver jewelry. They offer you gaku, the traditional Sami bread, thick and soft, baked over the fire. It is topped with reindeer meat, salted and dried. You eat together. The elder tells stories, and a translator shares them with you. "My grandfather's grandfather lived here," he says. "We followed the reindeer, they gave us everything. Meat, hides, bones. We respected them, taking only what we needed." He sings a joik, a traditional Sami song. Its melody is strange and mesmerizing, as if mimicking the sounds of nature. The wind, the howl of wolves, the flow of rivers, all in this song. Your eyes mist over, for reasons you cannot name. Night begins to fall. You step outside. The man points to the sky. We Sami call the northern lights Guovsahas, the sky fire. Our ancestors believed these were the spirits of the departed dancing, lights on the path to heaven. The next day, you board the Inlandsbanan train, the oldest and slowest railway in Sweden. This train does not hurry. It stops in small towns, sometimes only a few passengers get off. The train cars are old, lined with wood. Large windows frame the scenery outside. You settle into a corner seat and open your thermos of tea. The train starts moving, slowly, gently. The landscapes you pass are stunning. First, valleys shaped by glaciers stretch before you. U-shaped valleys, steep slopes on either side. Then you enter endless forests, pine trees so dense that sunlight barely reaches the ground. The train stops in a small town, Arvidsjaur. You step off to stretch your legs. The town is small, colorful wooden houses dotting the streets. A white, elegant church rises nearby. You step inside. The walls are covered with frescoes from the 1600s, depicting the life of Jesus. As if it took place in the Swedish countryside, with pine trees in the background and people wearing traditional Swedish clothing. Back on the train, the sun climbs high, still low in the northern sky. The light turns golden, bathing everything in softness. The snow glows pink and orange. Another stop, Jokkmokk. This town is the heart of Sami culture. A winter market is set up, a tradition over 400 years old. People from all around come to trade handmade goods. You buy gloves made from reindeer hide, soft, lined with fur, and a silver necklace etched with traditional Sami patterns. Your journey continues southwest. You arrive at Gotland Island, in the middle of the Baltic Sea. The town of Visby is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's easy to see why. You disembark from the ferry. The medieval walls of Visby greet you, 3.4 kilometers long, dating back to the 13th century. You run your fingers along the stones. Think of all the storms, battles, and love stories these walls have witnessed. You pass through a gate and step back into the Middle Ages. Narrow streets, stone houses, crooked sidewalks. Roses bloom everywhere. Visby is called the City of Roses. Though it's winter, beauty is found in every corner. You enter St. Maria Cathedral, built in 1225. Inside, soaring vaults and stained glass windows let in colorful light. You sit on a bench. The silence of the church wraps around you. The scent of old wood blends with the wax of the candles. Outside, evening falls. You walk toward the Baltic Sea. Rocks line the shore, waves lapping gently. You climb onto a rock and sit. The sea stretches endlessly before you. Seagulls return to their nests. You feel Visby's silhouette behind you, the church towers, the walls. Centuries ago, this was a rich trade hub, part of the Hanseatic League. Ships arrived from Lubeck, Novgorod, carrying goods. Now, those times feel like a dream, but the stones remain, ready to tell their stories. You travel west, near the Sweden-Norway border, to Dalsland. This is a paradise of lakes, dozens, even hundreds, connected by canals. You rent a canoe early in the morning. Mist rises from the lake's surface. You gently place the canoe in the water and begin paddling slowly. The water is calm, each stroke makes a soft sound, shush, shush, shush. The mist slowly lifts. Small islands appear, rocky, with a few pine trees. On some islands, small wooden cabins, painted red, are visible. People come in the summer, living simple lives, fishing, swimming, reading. You pull your canoe up to one island. Walking ashore, you notice moss covering the rocks, green and orange. Blueberry bushes still hold frozen fruit. You pick one and taste it, tart, but refreshing. You paddle toward the center of the lake again. At one point, you look back, the shore is far away, completely surrounded by water. The sky mirrors itself on the lake's surface. It's hard to tell which way is up, which is down. You feel as if you are floating in mid-air. A fish breaks the surface, sending ripples across the water. Then, silence returns. You travel northwest to Sweden's most famous ski resort, but you are not here to ski. You are here to reach the top of the mountain. The gondola lifts you higher. Below, the village shrinks, houses turning into tiny toys. The trees first grow smaller, then vanish, above the tree line now. Only snow and rock remain. Ars Peak, Abisko, 1,420 meters. You step off the gondola. The wind is sharp. You pull up your hood and move forward. The snow is deep, but there is a trail marked by footprints of earlier visitors. At the summit, the view. Every direction, 360 degrees, endless. Mountains, valleys, frozen lakes sparkling in the distance. Norway's border is somewhere out there, but you cannot see a line. Nature respects no borders. Wind blows through your hair. You squint into the distance. At the top of the world, you feel small yet immense. You are part of all this beauty. You take out a thermos of tea. Steam rises like a soft white cloud in the cold air. Sipping, you watch the village below. People move like tiny ants, but you are here, alone in silence, in the wind, in infinity. You travel south to Uppsala, Sweden's fourth largest city, home to its oldest university, founded in 1477. You explore the university buildings. Gustavianum, a 1600s-era anatomical theatre, awaits upstairs. In the circular amphitheatre, students once studied cadavers, learning anatomy. Now it is a museum filled with a ghostly silence. You walk to Uppsala Cathedral, Scandinavia's largest church, towers reaching 119 meters. Completed in 1435, the interior breathes grandeur. Columns stretch skyward, ceilings arched and adorned with frescoes. Famous Swedes rest here. Gustav Vasa, king who secured Sweden's independence. Carl von Linné, father of modern plant classification. Emanuel Swedenborg, philosopher and mystic. You read their gravestones, imagine their lives. Beside the cathedral, you visit Linnaeus Garden. Even in winter, it is orderly and beautiful. Paths, labeled plants, a greenhouse. Linnaeus' home is now a museum. Inside, books, microscopes, preserved plants, a lifetime of study, a passion preserved. Evening falls. You enter a student cafe. Warm, lively, filled with chatter and laughter. You sit in a corner, sipping hot soup. Outside, snow begins to fall, delicate flakes dancing in the wind. You return to the west coast, north of Gothenburg, to a small island, Marstrand. You arrive by ferry, a short but scenic journey. The sea waves gently, your boat rocking. Marstrand is small but striking. Colorful wooden houses cling to rocky cliffs. Karlstad Fortress crowns the hill, majestic, built in 1658. You climb the fortress. Stone stairs are steep, tiring, but the view opens as you rise. The island, the sea, distant islands stretch before you. Inside the fortress, you explore. Arrow slits, cannons, dungeons. One cell held a famous prisoner, Imagery, a thief disguised as a woman, a folklore hero. You read his story on the plaques. At the top tower, the wind is fierce. The sea is deep blue, waves capped with white. The Swedish flag whips in the wind. Below, fishing boats rest in the harbor. Seagulls cry across the cliffs. Descending, you stop at a small seafood restaurant. You eat fresh oysters. As you squeeze lemon over them, a mussel still moves, a sign of the ocean's freshness. The taste of the sea lingers, mingling with the scent of salt and seaweed. You travel south to Skåne, arriving in Ystad. The town of Detective Kurt Wallander, from Henning Mankell's novels. Ystad is old and historic. Medieval streets, low houses, lights glowing in cozy cafes. An old night watchman patrols the streets, blowing his horn at midnight. You hear the distant horn echo through the quiet town. You visit locations from Wallander's stories. The police station, apartments, favorite cafes. Every corner feels familiar. You walk toward the Baltic Sea. Sitting on the sand, the moon rises, casting a silver path across the water. Waves lap softly against the shore. In the distance, a lighthouse flashes, 3 short, 1 long. How many days have passed? How many cities, how many landscapes. Stockholm's colourful streets, the majesty of the Vasa, the dancing northern lights, Sami tents, Visby's medieval walls, canoeing on the lakes, winds atop mountains, Uppsala's wisdom, Marstrand's waves. All of it accumulates inside you. Each moment a treasure, each scene a painting. Sweden has revealed itself, its history, nature, people, soul. Your eyes close. The Baltic waves lull you like a soft song. You lie on the sand, no, not really, you are in your bed, pillow beneath your head. But in your dreams, you are still there, on the sand, in the moonlight, hearing the waves. One final image, Sweden, from above. A map alive with colour. Green forests, blue lakes, sparkling cities, white mountains. And you, a traveller, a dreamer, a collector of stories, part of all this beauty. In the morning, you find yourself by the Svarten River. Åbro lies in the heart of Sweden, between Stockholm and Gothenburg. But the heart of the city is its magnificent castle. Åbro Castle rises over the water, as if built on its own island. White walls, red brick details, round towers glimmer in the morning light. Built in the 1300s and expanded over centuries. You approach the castle. A bridge leads you across the moat, the gentle sound of water flowing beneath. The moat is no longer for defense, but still impressive, swans glide gracefully. One dips its neck, peering below the surface. Another stretches its wings, white feathers sparkle in the sun. You enter the castle courtyard. Stone paving underfoot, a well at the center. You wonder, how many kings walked here, how many councillors, how many soldiers? In the 1540s, an important meeting took place here, shaping the course of the Swedish Reformation. You explore the interior rooms. Royal halls now serve as a museum. Walls lined with tapestries, grand chandeliers hanging from the ceilings. One room displays armor, knights, swords, shields. You peek inside the armor, imagining the narrow, dark space, and wonder how they fought in it. Up to the tower room you go. From the window you gaze at Åbro. Red roofs, church spires, the river winding through the city. In the distance, Svampen, the mushroom-shaped water tower, the city's symbol. Traveling northwest to Dalarna, you arrive in Falun. The city hosts the copper mine that was the heart of Sweden's economy for centuries. You descend into Stora Kopparberget, the Great Copper Mountain. Helmet on, lantern in hand, your guide leads the way. The elevator takes you 55 meters down into darkness, the air cool. The underground world unfolds. Tunnels stretch in all directions. Low ceilings, wet rocks, walls tinged red from copper oxidation. Your guide explains. This mine operated for over 1,000 years. In 1687, 1/4 of Sweden's copper came from here. It closed in 1992. Deeper still, you pass old tools, carts, picks, shovels, dynamite holes. A life-sized bronze statue of a miner stands nearby, face determined. They advanced only a few centimeters each year, your guide says. They would heat rocks with fire, then pour cold water to crack them. At the deepest point, an old hall opens. The ceiling is high, and an underground lake reflects your lantern. Your guide turns off the light. Complete darkness. You hold your hand in front of your eyes, you see nothing. In this darkness, miners worked by candlelight. The lights return. You ascend and step outside. The sun dazzles your eyes, the fresh air fills your lungs. You feel alive again. In Falun, you walk the streets. Most houses are the famous red Falu Rådfarg. This paint comes from the copper mine, protecting wooden houses for centuries. Its unique red, slightly brown, orange, and crimson. Continuing in Dalarna, you arrive at Lake Siljan, Sweden's 6th largest lake. Its story is extraordinary. 377 million years ago, a massive meteor struck here, leaving a visible crater. You are in Rättvik. A long wooden pier stretches into the lake, Langbryggen, 628 meters. You walk along the pier. The wooden boards creak softly beneath your feet. Fishermen sit on either side, patiently waiting with their lines in the water. At the end of the pier, you stop and look around. The lake stretches in every direction, horizon blending with the sky. The water is deep blue, the waves gentle. Ducks swim nearby, dipping their heads beneath the surface and rising again. You turn back toward shore. Hills rise, forests of pine and birch. Behind them, traditional Dala horses are made, the iconic red wooden horses of Sweden. You enter a workshop. The smell of wood and paint fills the air. A master craftsman carefully paints a horse. Red base first, then blue, yellow, green patterns, flowers, curves. Each horse is unique. This tradition goes back to the 1700s, the craftsman says. Forest workers made toys for their children in winter. Later, traditional patterns were added. Now they are known all over the world. You choose a small horse for yourself. Holding it in your hand, smooth and shiny. You know it will return with you, carrying a piece of Sweden. You travel northeast, toward the coast of the Gulf of Bothnia. Högakusten, the high coast, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Why? Since the glacier melted, the land has been rising about 8 millimeters each year. One of the fastest rising coastlines in the world. You start a hike in Göteborg National Park. The trail begins in the forest. Pine trees surround you, the ground soft with moss. Your footsteps and birdsong are the only sounds. The path climbs. You scramble over rocks, sometimes using your hands. Breath comes in short gasps, but when you pause, the view opens up. Through the trees, the sea glimmers, blue and bright. You arrive at Slättåskriven, a narrow canyon, a fissure in the rocks. You step inside. The walls rise on both sides, tree roots twisting over the rocks. Cool, damp, silent. It feels like you are descending into the depths of the world. Exiting the canyon, you step onto the cliff's edge. Below, 200 meters down, stretches the Gulf of Bothnia. Turquoise waters, rocky shores, islands in the distance. This is Hocklinton, the high cliff. You sit on a rock, legs dangling. The wind brushes your face, tousling your hair. Below, a sailboat passes, tiny, like a toy. Looking out, you feel time itself. These rocks were once crushed under glacier, buried beneath millions of tons of ice. Then the ice melted, and the land began to rise slowly, still rising today. You are a witness to this moment, a blink in geological time, yet infinite to you. Now, it's time to go north, to the highest point. Kebnekaise, Sweden's tallest mountain. The southern peak is 2,096 meters, rocky. The northern peak is covered in glacier, changing with the climate. You fly by helicopter from Abisko, saving time on the long hike. Below, lakes and rivers shrink, mountains rise, vast and white. The helicopter lands on a plateau. Stepping out, the cold is intense. The wind pushes against you, but the view. Words fail. All around, mountains. Peaks reach the sky, glacier fill the valleys. Far away, Norway can be seen, even farther, perhaps the Arctic Ocean. The horizon is hazy, blending sky and earth. You begin the ascent. Crampons on your boots, ice axe in hand, guide in front. Snow hard, icy. Each step careful. Wind intensifies, sometimes you pause, bend, brace yourself. Step by step, higher and higher. Legs burn, breathing shallow in thin air. But you keep moving. One step. Another step. Finally, the summit. Standing atop Sweden, 2,096 meters. Below, all of Sweden, all of Scandinavia. Clouds lie beneath you, sun sparkling on the snow. You kneel, hand on the ice. Glacier ice, thousands of years old, melting slowly with climate change. Perhaps in 100 years, the northern peak may vanish. But now you are here. Feeling the wind on your face, the sun in your eyes, ice in your hand. Descending from the mountains, you arrive in Jokkmokk, the heart of Sami culture, just in time for the winter market. The town has transformed. Everywhere, stalls and people. The Sami wear traditional clothing, blue and red shirts, silver jewelry, four-cornered hats. Not just Sami, craftspeople, merchants, and tourists have come from everywhere. You approach a stall selling reindeer products. Meat, fresh, dried, smoked. Leather, gloves, boots, jackets. Antlers, knife handles, buttons, ornaments. An elderly woman with sun-bronzed skin smiles at you. Fresh meat? She asks in English. You nod. She slices a small piece, salty, lightly spiced. You taste it. Rich, wild flavor, unlike lamb or beef. You swallow. Wonderful, you say. She smiles. You explore other stalls. Handmade knives, Sami knives with birch handles, decorated. Knitted goods, thick wool socks, colorful patterns. Silver jewelry, necklaces, earrings, bracelets, traditional motifs. A tent emits smoke. You approach, it's a lavu, a Sami tent. Inside, a fire warms those seated around it. Someone makes room for you. You sit. Warmth wraps around you. Someone sings a joik, the traditional Sami song. The melody rises and falls, mimicking mountains, wind, animals. Everyone listens, silent. The song ends. No applause, the music is felt, not clapped for. Outside, night falls. The market's still alive, fires burning, lights hanging, music playing. People dance, traditional Sami dance, holding hands, moving in circles. You join in. Hands reach for you, pulling you into the circle. You spin, follow the steps, right, left, forward, back. Everyone laughing. you laugh too. You look up at the sky. Stars sparkling, millions, endless. And perhaps, just perhaps, the northern lights begin to dance, a faint green thread on the horizon. In the night, among the crowd, within the music, Sweden embraces you. And you are exactly where you are meant to be. The journey continues, every moment a new discovery. Your eyes grow heavy, but your dreams are still there, in the snow, on the mountains, across the lakes, among the people. You wake up in Jukkasjärvi, a small village 17 kilometers outside Kiruna, by the Torn River. But this is no ordinary village. Here, every year, a hotel is rebuilt entirely from ice. You approach the Icehotel. From the outside, it is magnificent, white, sparkling, glistening in the sunlight. But it is temporary. Come spring, it will melt, returning to the river. Next winter, new artists will come, and a new hotel will rise. You step inside. Cold, around -5 degrees Celsius. You can see your breath, a mist in the air. But everything around you is enchanting. Corridors made of ice, walls of ice, even ceilings. Embedded lights shimmer, blue, pink, purple. Every room is unique. You enter a room called Northern Spirits. Ice sculptures, animals, mythical beings, stand frozen in time. Beds carved from ice, reindeer hides, thick sleeping bags. You wonder, how do people sleep here? The guide laughs softly. The sleeping bags keep you warm, even in -25. And in the morning, we drink warm lingonberry juice. You visit the ice bar. Everything is ice, bar, stools, even glasses. The bartender prepares a drink for you, vodka, cranberry, served in an ice glass. You hold it carefully, gloved hands. The cold spreads in your mouth. Looking around, you notice ceilings carved like cathedral domes. In one corner, a bear sculpture, standing on its hind legs. You can even see the texture of its fur. There's even a church, yes, a church made of ice. High ceilings, long nave, an altar with a mosaic of northern lights. Benches lined with reindeer hides. Weddings happen here, bridal gowns, suits, vows, and kisses. All inside, surrounded by frozen beauty, at -5 degrees Celsius. Outside, you walk to the river. The torn river freezes solid in winter. Here, ice is harvested for the Icehotel. Men use electric saws to cut blocks, 2 tons each. Craned onto trucks, stored until needed. You ask a man, "Do you rebuild the hotel every year?" "Yes," he smiles. "We start in November, open in December. By March, spring comes, it begins to melt. In April, it returns to the river. And then, we start again." You think about this. Your journey is the same, each moment passes, never returns. Perhaps that's why it is so precious. Further north, you travel to Serene National Park. 2,000 square kilometers, no roads, no bridges, no signs, no cabins. Only nature, wild, untouched. A helicopter drops you at the park's edge. 2 days, then he'll pick you up, says the pilot. You worry. What if you don't come? He laughs. You have GPS and a satellite phone. But be careful, there are bears. Be aware. The helicopter rises, sound fading, until silence. And now you are completely alone. No other humans for miles. First, you notice the quiet. Not true silence, birds, wind, a distant waterfall. But no human-made sound, no motors, no sirens, no voices. You start walking. No trail, just natural terrain. Through grassy tundra, low plants, mosses and lichens. Every step soft, spongy. You climb a hill. From the summit, valleys, mountains, glacier. Rapid island stretches below, Rapartno Delta splitting the river into islands. Sunlight glimmers on the water, silver threads. Distant mountain ranges, Sarek, Jaka, Arka, skiff. Snow-covered peaks, steep, inaccessible. No lifts, no roads. Only for hikers, for the brave. You decide to camp. A small valley sheltered from the wind with a nearby stream. You set up your tent, fetch water from the glacier-fed stream. Build a fire, gather dry branches. Cooking simple meals in your thermos, yet delicious with hunger. Night falls. Stars emerge, Milky Way bright, clear, splitting the sky. A sound in the distance, howl or wind. You are unsure. Heartbeat quickens. The sound vanishes. Silence remains. You enter your tent, slip into the sleeping bag. Sleep does not come immediately. Outside, every sound is amplified, wind tapping the tent, a passing animal, the stream. In this wild place, you feel very small, yet alive. Every sense awake, every nerve alert. Truly living. Time fast forwards. It is late June, summer now. Göteborg near Abisko. Everything is transformed. Snow is gone. Green everywhere, trees, meadows, flowers. Purple, yellow, white blooms. Butterflies flutter, warm air caresses you. But the most special thing, the sun does not set. The midnight sun. Around the summer solstice, it never dips below the horizon. It touches the horizon, then rises again. You climb Göteborg mountain. There's a lift, but you walk. The path steep, exhausting. Yet the vegetation is magnificent, lichens, birch saplings, bushes. You reach the summit, midnight, 12:30. And the sun hangs on the horizon. Golden orange, reddish tones, brushing the clouds. It doesn't set. You sit, watching. Minutes pass. The sun moves slowly, barely perceptible, following the horizon. 1 o'clock. Then 2. Still daylight. People around you, silent, mesmerized. Some take photos, but most just watch. An unforgettable moment. A mother holds her child. Mom, why doesn't the sun sleep? She laughs softly. In summer, the sun never gets tired. It wants to play forever. 3 o'clock. The sun rises slightly again. A new day begins, yet the old one never ended. Time is blurry, fluid. Night? Day? Both? Neither. You walk from Abisko toward Lapland. A U-shaped valley, framed by two massive mountains. They call it the Gate of Lapland. The trail winds through Abisko National Park. Birch trees, tall and slender, white bark glowing softly. Underfoot, grass and flowers. A reindeer appears in the forest. It notices you, stops, and looks. Brown eyes, calm, steady. Then it leaps, disappearing between the trees. You continue upward. Trees thin out. Alpine meadows appear. Yellow flowers everywhere, open to the sun. Bees buzz softly, gathering pollen. And then, you see it, Lapland. Two colossal mountains, perfectly forming a U. As if a giant axe had carved them. Through the gap, Abisko Jaw Lake lies calm, blue, inviting. You approach the pass. Mountains rise on either side. The sky above narrows, a thin ribbon of blue. The wind here is stronger, rushing through like a tunnel. You stop at the center of the pass. Look back at the path you came. Look ahead at the path you will take. This pass has stood for thousands of years. Sami herders once passed through here, guiding reindeer. Migrants, traders, adventurers. And now, you return to Kiruna for a special reason. This city is moving. Beneath it lies a massive iron mine, LKAB. Mining has gone deep, and the city faces subsidence. The solution? Move the city. You walk the old town center. Buildings marked in colors: green, yellow, red. Green stays, yellow will move, red will be demolished. You enter Kiruna Church, built 1912. One of Sweden's largest wooden buildings. Gothic style, but all wood, unique. High ceilings, stained glass, a fresco behind the altar. The guide explains, this church will be moved, stone by stone, carefully reconstructed. You visit the new city, 3 kilometers east. Modern buildings, wide streets, parks. Standing between two worlds, old, historical, alive. A new, planned, evolving. Which is the real Kiruna? Both. The city lives, adapts, moves forward. You descend into the mine, tourists are allowed. 540 meters deep. The elevator descends in 1 minute. Your ears pop. Down, it's dark and warm, 28 degrees Celsius underground. Tunnels, massive trucks, iron ore piles taller than you. This iron feeds Europe's steel industry. Emerging into sunlight, you breathe deeply. Darkness below, life above. Two worlds, connected, inseparable. You arrive in Harrods, near Luleå. Here, another unique stay awaits, the Tree Hotel. Tree houses, yes, but not ordinary ones. Your room, the mirror cube. Built high in a tree, its exterior mirrors reflecting the forest. Hidden, almost invisible. You climb the ladder attached to the tree. Inside, modern, minimalist. Bed, windows, a small toilet. Through the windows, the forest, endless forest. You feel suspended among the branches. Other rooms catch your eye. The UFO, flying saucer shaped. Bird's nest, a huge nest woven from branches. Blue cone, conical, striking. Each room a piece of art. Dinner is served among the trees, on a platform. Local dishes, reindeer, fresh fish, forest mushrooms, wild blueberries. The Swedish chef's creations delight you. Night falls. You return to your treehouse. Lights off. Darkness surrounds, yet your eyes adjust. Tree silhouettes, moonlight filtering through leaves. An owl calls in the distance. You lie down. Feel the gentle sway of the tree, wind, branch movements. Like being on a ship or a train slowly rocking. The sway lulls you. In dreams, trees enter. You root yourself, grow branches, reach for the sky. Birds land on your branches, the wind caresses your leaves. You become part of the forest. The story of Sweden continues, endless, unfolding. Every valley a secret. Every corner a tale. And you, traveling through them, discovering a new wonder with every step.